Okay, let's move on to one other thing, Israel. Now, as I've said, Trump has been very sympathetic to Israel. He recently said concerning the military campaign, or war, which is taking place in Israel, that he wants Israel to finish the job, preferably by January the 20th, when he takes over. In other words, he's saying go for it. America has been holding back Israel in the Biden administration, going after Hamas as far as they want to, and Hezbollah, and against Iran. The policy of the Democrats has been basically to defend Israel from terror groups, but don't decisively win the war against them, which has actually made Israel have to hold back in certain places. Biden's actually threatened to withdraw armaments from the United States if Israel doesn't give more aid to Gaza. Now, you have to understand that Israel is pretty dependent on America for aid and for weapons and for money, so they can't afford to actually lose American support. UK has already withdrawn armaments to Israel, which doesn't make so much difference to them, but it's a gesture which is in the wrong direction. America has said that Israel's got to bring more aid into Gaza, but Israel says they're bringing aid into Gaza already, but it's being stolen by Hamas. So you've got a problem with the present administration. If it is going to go, so Trump, Israel reckons, is going to be more open to them moving forward on to try to eliminate Hamas and Hezbollah, and also to take out some of Iran's strategic assets. Now, just this last week, Netanyahu fired the defense minister, a man called Gallant, and replaced him with Israel Katz, who's actually more hawkish. Also in the news was news that there's been an attempt from Iranian assassins to assassinate Trump, which he's heard of. So he's going to be more hostile to Iran. So watch this space. He's likely also to bring in more sanctions on Iran when he comes to power, unless they stop the nuclear program altogether and they stop exporting missiles to Russia and to their Arab clients in the Middle East. If he does this, he could stop them from selling oil to China, which is one of Iran's main income sources, and break Iran's power. If he agrees also to another attack on Iran by Israel hitting strategic resources, he could also encourage the opposition in Iran against the Islamic regime. Now, if that happens, you could see Israel moving towards a situation when it's actually, in one sense, won the war. Now, I don't like to think about winning the war, but Israel is in quite a strong position at the moment. They've degraded, I think, 80% of Hezbollah's missiles, almost all of Hamas's. They're in a strong position, even though it's been intense suffering for both sides. But Israel is on the up as far as the conflict is concerned. They've knocked out Iran's defenses. They've knocked out a missile factory in Iran. And Iran is actually in a perilous situation because of the situation at home there. Now, as you know, there is another prophecy in the Bible which contains reference to Iran, which is Persia in the Bible. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, it speaks about a time when Gog of the land of Magog is going to come against Israel with a series of allies, which includes Persia, and which is Iran, and Togarmah, which is Turkey, or somewhere around Turkey, that region. There have been recent calls by the Turkish Prime Minister to have an alliance of Russia, Turkey, and Iran to take out Israel, basically, which would tie in with the Gog and Magog war. There's also another passage in the Bible which speaks about a peace treaty coming, a peace treaty which could come as a result of this present situation. So although it's possible it's going to lead to a war, it could also lead to a peace agreement, peace covenant. That would be if Israel feels that they have basically defeated the enemies, or they're no longer a threat, and also if there is possibly even a removal of the threat coming from this Russia, Turkey, Iran alliance. It's possible. And Donald Trump would be a person who might be one who's going to work on this program. He's already working on a peace agreement. He agrees with the Saudi proposal to have a peace agreement with Israel. That would involve some kind of a Palestinian entity being set up in the West Bank and Gaza, but it would involve some way in which these problems could be resolved by an international conference leading to a peace agreement with Israel. Now, although there are two possibilities coming out of the present situation, war and peace, if the Trump says he can resolve these problems, like he says he can resolve also the Ukrainian problem, then maybe he's going to be the one who's going to bring in a peace agreement. I'm not saying he is, but it's possible. And you can see that movement moving in that direction, which is interesting if you study Bible prophecy. Now, ultimately, of course, God is in control of all this. He can turn the king's or the president's heart wherever he will. And also, we do read another point in the Bible which says that I will bless those who bless you and curse them that curse you. So that God is going to bless those who stand with Israel and the Jewish people and curse those who come against them.